We had our pastor, David Rennick, who leads Phoenix First United Methodist Church and used to do ministry out here in the West Valley. And so I've asked him to come back and see the final product and open us up in prayer. So, David.
Brian, thank you. Who was here at the groundbreaking? Many of us. Is this amazing or what? We've entered into a season within the Christian tradition called Lent, a time that we prepare for the season of Easter. And in this ground, we have seen a resurrection, an uprising. So welcome, Governor Hobbs. Nice to see you again, and all others too, as we gather this day to give thanks for the great work, for the heart and energy that has been put in this, not only through Gorman, but as you see, through many other partners that have been a part of this enterprise. And most of all, for those within the faith, we give thanks to God. And so whatever your tradition may be, if we might just pause now to give thanks to the divine in all of us. Holy and gracious God, holy and gracious divine, Holy and gracious Spirit, in all in which stirs in each of us, we thank you for the miracle that has happened here at Centerline, not only for the labors of work, but for the lives and families that will be lifted up, to be empowered in such a way that brings new hope for them, that brings possibility, and that brings not only just home, but provides hope. Be with us in this day as we celebrate, as we commemorate, and as we bring this place to its fruition over these last 2 years. Truly, today is an Easter day, and it's okay to say, hallelujah indeed. Thanks be to God. Amen and amen.
All right. Thank you, Pastor, so much. We appreciate that. So welcome to the official ribbon cutting ceremony for the Centerline on Glendale. This is a 368 unit mixed income community designed to address critical housing shortage here in the city of Glendale and throughout the region. Centerline is one of the largest permanent supportive housing developments in the nation and the single largest private investment in Glendale's Centerline redevelopment area, a $130 million undertaking. Very, very exciting. City Hall might be more expensive, I have no idea, but that's looking pretty good. So congratulations on that as well. Centerline on Glendale is serving a wide variety of households earning between 0% all the way up to 80% of the countywide median income. We've partnered with Access at the state level, as well as the city of Glendale at the local level, and Home Inc. and ABC to provide critical housing vouchers and rental support for the next 20 years. So we'll have a permanent supply of housing for their populations, which is really super exciting as well. We're also providing on-site wraparound supportive services to all of the residents here, which is fantastic. We have a great supportive housing team here at Gorman and Company. And while you're here, check out our cool dog park right over in this direction. The dog park is really, really neat. We have a splash pad that you'll see when we cut the ribbon. That'll come on. Our computer lab and our fitness center, as well as our multi-purpose community center, as well as our amazing commercial kitchen that's going to be operated by, where's Kimber Lanning? And, oh, you're right in front of me. And Local First Arizona. So thank you, Kimber. You're going to learn a little bit more about that in a minute. This development incorporates many green building features as well, including a solar array that's offsetting 100% of the common area electric load of the entire project on this whole 13 acres. So that's really cool. We even have electric vehicle charging stations throughout the project as well. And our units are fully accessible to the physically disabled, so that's really neat. Most importantly, this project will serve as a catalyst for future redevelopment and reinvestment along Glendale Avenue. It's hard to believe, but this project site goes all the way to the north to Glendale Avenue and promote reinvestment along that corridor. So as I mentioned today, it's a historic occasion for affordable housing in Arizona. And as many of you know, Centerline on Glendale is the first project ever financed in Arizona with the new Arizona State Housing Tax Credit, a program that was passed in a bipartisan fashion by the Arizona legislature in 2021 and is thoughtfully administered by our friends at the Arizona Department of Housing. So thank you all for that. That $2 million allocation of credits that this project received was leveraged into $130 million in mostly private financing and is generating $30 million in new tax revenues to the city, the county, and to the state over the 10-year credit period. So that's an astronomical return on investment for the state of Arizona. U.S. Bank is our equity partner, and I know we have some friends from U.S. Bank out there somewhere. There you are, Art. So thank you for joining us. They worked with Gorman also up in Globe with a state tax credit investment up there where we redeveloped the Hill Street School into mixed income housing for seniors in downtown Globe. So the state credit is a really powerful tool, not just in the urban areas, but also in the rural parts of our state. The state credit was only a $4 million credit for 4 years, and it has officially run out of tax credits to allocate. Nicole Newhouse with the Arizona Housing Coalition has been working tirelessly with the industry, folks like Julie Reese, with Tri-Advocates as well, Greater Phoenix Leadership, the Arizona Multi-Housing Association, and others to get this tax credit expanded. We greatly appreciate the efforts of our amazing Governor, Katie Hobbs, who's with us today, including the state tax credit in her budget both last year and again this year, and she's not going to give up until we get it approved and funded, so, right? Okay, thank you. So it is my honor and my privilege to welcome Governor Hobbs to the podium.
Thank you, Brian, and I'm so happy to join you all this morning. It was just almost 2 years ago to the day that we were here for the groundbreaking. It was windy like this, which is why I carry an iPad now instead of having my remarks on paper because people's stuff was blowing all over. But it is so great to see the transformation that's taken place here, not just in the physical buildings that you see, but really what we can see in people's lives who have the chance to call this place home. I had the chance to meet with a couple of the residents here before we started, and it was a really great opportunity to really hear firsthand how this program will make a difference in their lives. Richard, who had some unfortunate events in his life that created instability and led him to experiencing homelessness for a year and a half, he really wants to work, and the lack of housing made that challenging for him. And now he has a stable place to call home. And it's been a complete 180 for him. He's pursuing a program in STEM at the community college nearby. And this is just a great opportunity for him to have the housing here that makes all of the rest of that possible. Helen said she has been blessed to have housing since she moved here to Arizona, but was in a facility before coming here that wasn't built to, that wasn't very accessible for people living with disabilities. And this is a place that has met her needs. She's very comfortable and really loves all of her neighbors. This opening today is really important for not just the state of Arizona, but for the city of Glendale. As I said, was here for the groundbreaking a couple years ago, and it is undeniable the amount of growth that we're seeing here around Glendale. Companies of all shapes and sizes are coming here, and this is a credit to Mayor Weyers welcoming this growth, but also with that growth comes the need for more housing, which is why this project is so pivotal to the success and continued growth for Glendale. This is such a testament to the way that housing is just more than four walls and a roof, but a place for people to get their lives back on track, propelling them forward, allowing them to find employment, to get healthy, and create a community. And this is a place where they can do all that in one place. There are 386 units here, all designated as affordable housing, and comprehensive services for the residents, case management, job training, telehealth stations, and as you'll hear from Kimber later, the on-site commercial kitchen that will help foster entrepreneurship among food-based businesses. And this is such a great model that we should be replicating around the state. As you heard from Brian, the low-income housing tax credit was instrumental in making this project happen. It was the first project that utilized the state's low-income housing tax credit program. And it is such an important piece of the financing puzzle that goes into making projects like this possible and successful. Since the low-income housing tax credit, which, as you heard, expires, we have created 320 rural units and 1,270 metro units in metro areas. It is such an important piece of the tool, so I would really encourage you all to remind your legislators that this is a bipartisan program and that we should renew it, and whatever you can do to help make the case, really, really appreciate that. I have included in my budget for the last 3 years and will continue to work to getting that extended and expanded. This project is something that I see as exceptional. And when I was here at the groundbreaking 2 years ago, I said that this is exceptional, but we were going to make sure that it is not the exception. And we've done exactly that during my 2 years as governor. And the Department of Housing has been instrumental in making sure that we are putting meaningful investments in affordable housing across the state of Arizona. And because of the Department of Housing and the investments we've been able to get done through the legislature, we have broken ground and built thousands of units across the state. 4,155 affordable housing units in 2023, 3,875 in 24. And this is more than any 2-year time period in the history of Arizona. And again, we've allocated all of the low-income housing tax credits through the state. And another legislative issue this year, the Department of Housing is up for continuation. So all of your support on getting that department continued. It is under some unfortunate partisan political attacks right now, and we have to make the case and show all of the good work that they've been able to do. So projects like this don't happen alone. There's all kinds of partners who come together. So grateful for all the partnership, Gorman and Company, of course, Maricopa County, the City of Glendale, and Mayor Wires. Your leadership on projects like this has been instrumental. This is one of just several projects you've championed in your city to make sure that your residents have a place to call home. And so grateful for your partnership on this and many other things. The Department of Housing, of course, and Local First Arizona, and so many others. So I'm really, really so grateful to be here to celebrate this amazing program and grand opening. And this project gives me hope that together we are going to restore the Arizona promise to make sure that Arizonans are on the path to prosperity, opportunity, security, and freedom. And this is just one way that we're doing that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you so much, Governor. And I, too, remember that windy groundbreaking. And I thought I was being smart by doing a 3-hole punch with my paper here. But you went up to me big time. And next time I'm going to get an iPad as well. So that's brilliant. So thank you very much. I want to thank all of our state agency partners, including the Arizona Department of Housing, whose team is over here. You guys are amazing. Access, who has been a huge partner, as well as the Arizona Industrial Development Authority, who helped issue our tax-exempt bonds on this transaction as well. Before I ask the mayor to come up and say a few words, I really have to recognize one of Arizona's true housing heroes, who I told her she could not retire until we finished this project, and that is Jean Moreno. Where is Jean? Come on up here, Jean. She has her new grandbaby, and this is why she retired. But Gene and the whole city staff, including Matthew Hess, Karen Mofford, and so many others, stepped up from day one and simply asked me, what is it we can do to help make this happen? And I was just so incredibly blessed to have Jean part of this project. She implemented an impact fee waiver, permitting fee waiver through the city mayor and council. So thank you guys for approving that new initiative. We took that money and reinvested it back into this project, by the way, and built the solar array to offset the electrical load of the project. So that was a great investment. She helped us expedite our plan review, among other things, and as well as provided the first ever project-based Section 8 contract in the history of the city of Glendale on this project here. So, Gene, thank you so much. You're a hero. He's like, who is that weird guy? Okay. And so on behalf of the city of Glendale, Mayor Wires, I echo the governor's sentiment. Your support for housing. We don't see that in every city, and you can see the results of these kinds of public-private partnerships. We thank you for your political support and your entire council as well. So, Mayor Wires.
Thank you. Oh, there is a lot of people here. Wow. Governor, I have to apologize to you from my staff. We thought it was your turn to order good weather. We normally do that. Staff was under the impression that you were taking care of that today. We're going to own it. It's our fault. That's why it's windy. So with that said, hey, thank everybody for being here. This is a big deal for us. It really, truly is. Our council over the years, most of the time get along with the belief of what we do to try to make people's lives better, and frequently we're not always on the same page on everything, but I would say most of the time we are. This particular case was unanimous. The council was 100% behind it, and I really have to thank the council for getting behind this, making this happen. I'm getting all the praise, and quite honestly, I'm going to take it, but. And the governor knows this. We also, when we get praise, we also get beat up for things that we didn't do. But the council, I really think everybody should give them a big round of applause for making this happen. I really, really believe that. Okay, so I said I was sorry. I said thank you. Okay, now I can get on to the speech. Brian, thank you. Your entire Gorman team for taking on this important development in our community. Affordable housing options are much needed, and not just here in Glendale, but around our entire state. And I'm going to say something that's probably going to make some other mayors angry, but until you stand up and say, hey, we've got a real problem, you can't start addressing that problem. And in the city of Glendale, we're not going to hide from issues. We're going to attack them full-fledged. We're going to get in the face, and we're going to take care of the issue. And I think that's why Glendale's been doing very well. We, along with the Gorman team, recognize the need, and they certainly have delivered by working with many partners in both the private and public sectors. This wind is nasty. Yeah. We share the goal to ensure working families across our community and state that they have access to safe, and that's really important, safe, quality housing options. State tax credits can and they should be used to support financing of developments just like this one. In case you're wondering how centerline, well, that's what we call it, and that's an overlay of the area to try to do the things we can to help the people in Glendale. And again, this council is the one that came up with that and voted to support that idea, and then you folks just took the name, and I'm glad that you did. Glendale is the first affordable housing development to utilize the tax credits. Everything's getting stuck here. That was created by bipartisan legislation, and I want to thank to our governor, I want to thank to our legislators for making those tax credits available. Also, this project received Glendale's community development fee waiver, which enables Gorman and Company to install solar at this site. Now, it's a big cost saver in the long run. And I know that because I put solar on my property about 6 years ago, and my bill about 2 weeks ago was $24. So it makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. Ultimately, this public-private partnership, the affordable, high-quality units, they'll help, and they will help prevent homelessness and provide opportunities and benefits for hardworking Arizona families. You know, here in Arizona, we strive each and every day to do what we believe our motto, and that's to try to improve the lives of the people that we serve each and every day. And I believe that this project is doing just that. So my hat's off to you, Governor, for your staff, the legislature, and my council members, and then just all of the friends. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor. And Councilmember Leandro Baldenegro was not the councilman when we started this project. He came in as construction was underway, and he learned about this project in a unique way. And I wanted to have Councilmember Baldenegro share a little story with you. Councilman?
Morning, everyone. So when I first got appointed back in last April, I was asked to come on a tour here with Gene, Matt, Michelle, and my first assistant, Derek. And we came down, it was June or July, it was super crazy hot. And for whatever reason, I was under the impression that these were billed as luxury apartments. And I was thinking to myself, no one's going to want to come down here to pay an exorbitant amount of money for luxury apartments. And I live here. I wouldn't come down for luxury apartments in this neighborhood. I just wouldn't. And then as we're doing the tour, and like all the things that were in these units, I'm like, man, these are really, really nice. Everything from you can roll a wheelchair into the shower stall, and they have fire suppression units above every cooking piece. It was like, wow, this is really nice. And about halfway through, Gene says, yeah, so this is one of our closest to being done of our affordable housing. And I'm like, this is affordable housing? And she goes, yeah, no, this is affordable housing. I go, why did I think these were luxury condos? And she goes, we're so glad you're thinking that. And I go, maybe everyone else is thinking that. And I go, no, look, they don't look like, these look really, really nice. I mean, the roof lines are just broken up. They're pitched back and forth. I mean, and I said this that day, this looks like it's a small world, like the Disneyland ride, where it just doesn't look like it should be here in this spot. Exactly what I said. You can ask Gene, I said that. So I'm excited for this. Everything inside, I mean, we went, like I said, the tour last year. They were beautiful. I can't wait to see them again today. So thank you again for everyone for coming down. And as the councilman for downtown Glendale, as I always say, I'm glad you guys are here today. I need you to come back tomorrow. I need you to come back on the weekends. I need you to come back and visit the restaurants, visit the stores, visit the shops. We have something here for everybody. I guarantee we have something here for everybody. And then I'd like to invite Governor Hobbs for lunch on Jerry's dime. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Councilman. As you know, this project includes a very unique commercial kitchen enterprise, okay? And out on Glendale Avenue, we wanted to activate the street frontage and provide a more urban context for the Centerline corridor. We saw a commercial kitchen concept in another affordable housing development on Main Street in Mesa, and we toured it, and we learned that Local First Arizona operated that commercial kitchen. And so we went to Kimber Lanning at Local First, and I said, I'll build the space for you. I'll buy all the equipment, and I'll even lease the space to you for $1 a year. Please, please, please be our partner and come to Glendale. And she said, you know, we've been looking for a West Valley opportunity to expand our commercial kitchen experience. And so Kimber and I, we actually co-chair the Social Impact Committee with Greater Phoenix Leadership together. And it's just been such a delight to partner with you and making real social impact out in the community. So Kimber Lanning.
Councilmember, I want your hair today. Yeah, could we just swap for a day? That'd be great. So, hello everyone. I'm thrilled to be here with you. Local First Arizona is about unleashing economic opportunity, and we believe that opportunity should be for everyone. One of the things we say regularly is that every small business is a family and every family counts. And so, as Brian mentioned, we run 5 incubator kitchens around the valley and growing. And what we do with those kitchens is really a wide variety of services that we offer in any community where we're working. So we incubate food entrepreneurs in this kitchen here. We will be working with 25 to 30, possibly more, food entrepreneurs. And it will be incredible for them to have an opportunity to grow their business here. So we have grown independent food businesses of all kinds, small startups that do catering companies, that grow into food trucks, that grow into brick and mortar restaurants. And as a Glendale kid, I grew up at 59th Avenue in Northern, and it will bring me great joy to be able to incubate the next generation of restaurants right here in downtown Glendale. So we also, in addition to working with entrepreneurs, we extend their runway. They're allowed to work from our kitchen for up to 2 years. The first year, they pay approximately just slightly less than 25% of market rate to have access to a full-fledged commercial kitchen. That rate goes up a little bit in year 2 as we help them get ready to take flight. And that extended runway is really a game changer for small business. As you know, food is one of the most difficult businesses you can enter into, and we do everything we can during the time they're with us to teach them all they need to know about how to run a successful food business. In addition to incubating food entrepreneurs in some of our other kitchens, I want to give you an example of some of the other types of things we do. We have a partnership with Banner Aetna, where we're actually teaching classes to families who've been written scripts for diabetes prevention. We teach kids cooking classes to give children the opportunity to gain confidence in the kitchen at a young age. And we're actually hearing from teachers that they can tell the difference in the confidence level of these kids. We believe that no kid should have to go to school in the morning without food. And we believe that over time, we're going to be able to prove that these kids are performing better in school and have better attendance in school. In addition, we have a partnership with United Food Bank, and we have a food pantry which normalizes access to healthy food and invites communities to come together to talk about how they can prepare that food. It is a multi-generational, multicultural experience with food at the core that can be transformational for an entire community. I want to say we are deeply grateful to Gorman for having the vision for investing and partnering with us to transform lives for the people who live in this community and potentially transform opportunities for businesses to start up and launch right here in Glendale. And I would really love to thank my team. If my team could stand up, Chef Gabe Gardner and his entire team over here they're all around the room, and they are doing the tremendous work day in and day out, helping our food entrepreneurs be successful and working in partnership. I also want to invite everyone, if you'd like to see the kitchen, it's in Building A right over here on the other side of Building D. And there's food, and we encourage you to come over and see it, see how it's going to work, and celebrate this wonderful day where we're going to transform the community. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Kimber. Yes, and please do join us right after we cut the ribbon. We're going to walk over to the Glendale Avenue side of the site. We have golf carts, too, for anyone that's mobility impaired. The chefs are actually preparing the food over there, so you don't want to miss it. It's a little bit of a walk, but it's a nice, windy day, so it'll be worth it, trust me. I would be remiss, too, if I didn't thank our Gorman team. There's so many of you, I decided I'm not calling out any one of you individually. But we have folks here from our design team, who designed this project, our construction team who built this project, our property management team who are now leasing up the project, and our resident services team who are working with the residents as well. And we even have people holding up signs so they don't blow down. So thank you to everyone on the Gorman team. We're 700 employees strong across the country. We have over 3,000 units here now in Arizona that are all high quality mixed income developments, over $2 billion in real estate in total. So thank you to the Gorman team. I also want to thank all of our subcontractors who worked through 2 hot summers to put these buildings together. And we had so many of them and created so many jobs. And I want to tell you that 100% of this project was developed using prevailing wage. So all the employees, all the subcontractors, all the laborers were all paid prevailing wages throughout the 2-year construction project. So thank you. And I think I don't know where Jacqueline is. I think we have 2 residents who helped tour their apartments with the governor earlier. And are they with us here? And if so, could they come up? What's that? Oh, they're not here. Okay. We thought we had some residents that wanted to speak, but I guess they are not here. So, but anyway, we do have 2 units over in this building to my right, to your left, that you can tour. So I encourage you to stop in there after we cut the ribbon, and then head over to Glendale Avenue to the commercial kitchen and enjoy some of that amazing food. And if I could have all of our dignitaries and speakers come over to my left, your right, we're going to cut the ribbon and turn on that amazing splash pad so you get to see that in action. And
Check, check. Check, check.
Where's our lab?
Now you're just making us look bad with that stick.
He's got stick envy. Tell you what, since you have the stick, you want to go more to the middle, Rick? And I've got an arm, unfortunately only, so I'll go to the edge. Good morning. Come on down. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
The Senate yesterday passed the Senate version of the starter homes bill. Obviously, that still has a lot of work to go through the House. Probably going to be some changes. Even some of the people who voted for it said they wanted to see changes. What needs to happen for you to sign a starter homes bill? What changes need to be made? What features does it need to have? Does it need agreement from the League of Cities?
I want to find a bill that strikes the right balance for all the stakeholders, recognizing that not everyone's going to get everything they want and people are going to get some things they don't want. But I will continue, and I have been encouraging, we've been at the table, we want a bill that is negotiated. And as far as I know, everyone is still at the table and willing to stay at the table to get something that works to make more affordable housing for Arizonans.
Are there things in the bill that the Senate passed yesterday that you like, and more importantly, things you can't support?
We're still negotiating, and I think it's more about what the stakeholders can agree to that works in the best way possible to get more affordable housing built.
Is support from the League of Cities and Towns a make or break issue for you? If they oppose the bill, is that something that will be determinative for you?
They are one stakeholder at the table. There's a lot of stakeholders at the table. I know that the starter home bill isn't per se an affordable housing bill, but at the end of the day, if we're going to cut red tape, it needs to be for the purpose of making more housing that's more attainable for more Arizonans.
Hey, Governor,
Any questions over here?
I'm sorry, Prop 123 you're
Yep.
extending for the teachers. Talk about the importance of that, and do you feel it's important to get that extended rather than let it lapse?
It is absolutely critical that we get Prop 123 extended. We're at a point where we have a once-in-a-decade opportunity to do that, to infuse more money in our classrooms, to pay our teachers more. We know that's one of the reasons that we're losing teachers from the profession, and we need to do it this year. The funding expires in July, and we've already missed one critical deadline. I am encouraged that we're still at the negotiating table, and I feel like we're very close to getting something that the legislature can support, and that which eventually will be supported by voters, because they have to get it passed too.
Speaking of extension, what about the low-income housing tax credit? Where does that stand?
It's in my budget, and but the legislators have my budget, so hopefully they'll act on a budget soon.
Speaking of which, where are things at with the developmental disabilities funding that you and the legislature have not been seen eye to eye on?
The same place they were when we talked a week ago.
How do you find that middle ground with legislatures on these key issues?
Well, I mean, these are not Democratic or Republican issues, and I've said that from day one, and I've continued to work across the aisle where we can find common ground, and I think there's so many opportunities to do that. And this is just another example. These are not Democratic or Republican kids. They're kids with disabilities that need the services that the state provides. And, on issues that the Republicans are, they don't bat an eye on issuing supplemental funding for overspending on ESAs. And these are critical services that families in Arizona need.
How do you get over these hurdles and work with them? Is there a possibility of making a lot of this happen?
I mean, there's always a possibility. It requires people to come to the table, be willing to set their partisanship aside and tackle the issues. And I'm always willing to do that, but they have to be willing to do it on the other side too.
Do you want to talk about this project in general and how this is a beacon to get the housing tax credit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was the first project in the state that used the low-income housing tax credit. It was the first housing groundbreaking I came to in my time as governor, and it was important to do that to highlight the impact that the low-income housing tax credit has, and you can see that here today. This is a critical tool in getting projects like these financed, and the project financing is great, but what it means for people's lives, that they have a stable home where they can move forward in their life.
President Trump just announced that he's delaying tariffs for Mexico again another month. What was your reaction?
He's delaying part of the tariffs, and I think what that says is that these were a bad idea to begin with. At the end of the day, no matter what the tariffs are on, if it's on everything, if it's on agriculture, if it's on car parts, it's going to cost Arizonans more money. And for someone who ran on lowering costs and said he won because groceries are too high, this is the worst economic policy ever. And we're going to be continuing to highlight the impacts that it has on everyday Arizonans, on families, on businesses, and on the economy. It's going to cost us jobs.
And the VA also announced that they're going to be laying off 77,000 people from the VA. Your reaction to that and how that might impact that?
Arizona is home to more than 600,000 veterans, and the VA is critical to them getting the services that they need, the services that they deserve, because they served our country and made huge sacrifices to do that. And again, I've said this before, these layoffs that are happening across the federal government, they are not rational. They are not being made with a strategy in mind, except to cut jobs, and with no regard to what these jobs do and the impact that these jobs have on people's lives across the country.
Last one? Anyone? No? All right. Thank you,
All right,
everyone.
thank
Thank you very much, Governor.
Take the mic.
Really.